Can you imagine we're like at Marshall's doing this? Okay, anyway, we're gonna dive in. Thank you for coming, everyone. Um, like I was saying earlier in the group chat too, like this is something that me and Emma were even just talking about like yesterday, and I was like telling her I was excited to do today's call because this is something where it's like even if you know that it's true, sometimes you need to see tangible like proof, not only maybe within like yourself and your own results, but sometimes seeing it in others can be helpful too. Um, but I think the most important thing is to know that like the scale really does be lying, and like it's crazy because I feel like so many people have like a weight loss specific like scale number goal, and I want to preface like there's nothing wrong with having a weight loss goal. Like that's a huge reason why a lot of people start their fitness journey is because they typically want to lose weight and then end up wanting to like recomp and build muscle later down the road, and like that's cool too. Um, but the scale is one thing that I feel like people are like fixated on and are obsessed with. So I'm really excited to dive into some, science behind like your body actually changing its shape, which is body recomposition or body recomp. So we're gonna dive in. Oh, why am I at key takeaways? That is not what we want. Why am I at page 18? What the hell? You guys thought I was letting you out early. Not. Okay. So, if the scale is the only measure, like the only tool that you're using or the only metric that you're using to gauge your progress, you're genuinely probably missing out on like 90% of your results. So, like, it's just a small piece of the puzzle or the little pie. And it doesn't mean that it's not important or, that like we can't look at it. But I know you guys will hear me like say it until I'm blue in the face, especially within probably some of your check-ins. If like you're feeling a little defeated about the scale, or maybe it's just like not exactly where you want it to be right now. There's other things that we can also be looking at. It doesn't mean that you're not making progress, and we need to look at other ways. So, um, I liked this one in. And why is it hella blurry? This is like story of my life. Um, but the scale be lying. Why you always lying? And the first thing I want to show you guys, and I don't know if you guys have seen this visual before. Has anyone seen this before? Or like, I don't even know. I feel like I seen this in like school at some point, or I don't even know where I saw it. Maybe in my personal training certification or something. Okay, we got someone who's seen it. So I was gonna be like, which one do you think weighs more? And it's like 1 pound of fat or 1 pound of muscle. And clearly, I hope that you can see that muscle genuinely takes up less space than fat. So, like 1 pound of muscle is like, or I guess 1 pound of fat, I should say, is like 2 or 3 times the size of 1 pound of muscle. So, when your body is changing and you're working out and you're lifting weights and you're getting stronger, that's how you build muscle. So, the fat could be burning and shrinking and the muscle could be increasing, but like the 1 pound on your body weight isn't necessarily the same 1 pound. It could be, half, if not, 2 to 3 times smaller and take up 2 to 3 times less space on your body than 1 pound of fat would. So, one thing that I think that a lot of people don't understand, and maybe when you're on like TikTok or you're scrolling, you'll see people being more specific, and I feel like it's kind of more advanced to say fat loss. And like sometimes I say it, and sometimes I try not to because I just want everyone to kind of understand like the difference between like weight loss or fat loss. And other people don't even know what fat loss means. So then I try to steer away from that. But everything that we do and that I teach you guys is geared towards fat loss. And I want to make that abundantly clear. Like, we're not here just to lose weight. That's cool, yeah, but we're here to lose fat. And so when you see these like fad diets and stuff, um, if you're dropping weight fast, this is often water weight. And I know that a lot of people know that like if you cut carbs and it's like the scale drops overnight, It's because carbs actually store in your body as glycogen, which is literally water molecules. So it's like if you have a lot of carbs one day, um, and maybe more than usual per se, then the next day if you go to weigh yourself, if the scale goes up, it's really not surprising. It's like actually water weight and water retention from having, high carbs or, high sodium or whatever the case may be. But that's why you see if people go like keto, for example, it's why I'm bringing this one up, is that like the scale might drop rapidly, but it's because they literally deleted like a water source off of their body, if that makes sense. So yeah, they lost weight, but they probably didn't lose any fat unless they're pairing it with a high protein diet and like weightlifting, then like you can, but it's just not as likely. So anyways, the whole moral of this story is that 1 pound of muscle obviously takes up less space than 1 pound of fat, so you can weigh the exact same, but look leaner, but look like you lost 5 pounds or 10 pounds. So let's normalize fluctuations and like the scale. If you weigh yourself every single day, there's going to be fluctuations. That's also why I don't really have you guys weigh yourself that much. You'll notice that in your check-ins, I have you weigh yourself 1 time per week. My goal with you weighing yourself is that you kind of do it on the same day every week so that like variables stay the same. Like everything that I do is like let's eliminate any outside variables. So like weighing yourself on the same day every single week, once again, first thing in the morning on empty stomach so we can eliminate outside variables. But the reason why I have you do it the 1 day per week is because like I don't really care what it looks like Monday through Friday because you could weigh yourself on Monday and then the next day gain 5 pounds and then the next day lose 3 pounds and it's going to be all over the place. Um, for men, it's not always like that, because they're so blessed. But for us women, water retention is normal. So that means that like fluctuations are going to be normal. When we're looking at, the scale, like we want to look at the overall trend, right? Like how's the trend going? So even though it might be up and down every day, like the overall trend could be going down. But if you hyper focus and zoom in on 1 week, it could be all over the place. And so some reasons for this isn't because you gained weight from eating out this weekend. It's because you probably have some water retention. I know a lot of people know that it can come from sodium or carbs and everything, like I kind of mentioned earlier, but what people might not realize is that it could be due to stress. It could be due, obviously, to your hormones or your period, but also like cortisol and other things not necessarily related to your sex hormones. Um, Poor digestion. Like there could literally just be like food and waste still left over in your system that like you haven't properly digested yet. And that's normal too. Other things that you can get inflammation from are your workouts. So like if you realize that like you've been like busting your ass in the gym this week, and you're not properly recovering from them, which leads to, poor stress, management and like recovery. But also traveling. I don't know if you guys know this, but traveling by nature is inflammatory. So, like going on a plane, even if it's only a 1 hour flight, you're going to be dehydrated, you're going to be inflamed, you're going to be dysregulated. Like a lot of people come back from vacations and they're like, I can't shit, my digestion's all over the place. And I'm like, yeah, it's because you were just traveling. Your body is out of whack. And our bodies love routines. So that could be it too. And then also just like simply because of like bad sleep. Like if you just had a bad night's sleep, or maybe even just like this week you had a bad night's sleep, that could be something too. So these are all reasons why the scale could be, playing tricks on you, and ruining your day. So why am I doing this? You guys, I can't handle this right now. What the hell? I don't know. Okay, it's definitely Monday. Okay, so the first thing I want to just reiterate is that if the scale goes up, the first thing that we think of is like, first of all, why am I doing this? Why should I bother? I'm gaining fat. It's not working. Not true. You're in this program, so you could be, gaining some muscle, or it could just be some water retention. And you don't have to weigh less in order to look leaner. Everything that we're doing is going to give you body recomposition, which is truly key. So, here's an example. The top one is me. Shout out me in 2016. You guys, I've been doing this shit for a long time. And I weighed 145 pounds in the left photo. And then in 2023, post half marathon training, post inflame, like literally like just inflammation everywhere. Like it was crazy, but I was determined because I already signed up for the half marathon to train for it. My PCOS body blew up like a balloon, and I literally gained like 15 pounds. It was crazy. Anyways, but I weighed 145 on the right as well. And so I just want to go and show you this because it's like I remember looking at this after like taking my new starting photos on the right, and I was like, wow, like I weigh 145 pounds again. Also, you guys, I'm 5'1", I'm pretty short. Um, and I remembered like, okay, wait, I've weighed 145 before, I've weighed 150 before, and I actually, it's not like I lost progress. You know what I mean? It's like there's still muscle built under there. I still shaped my physique, like my hips, my back, my midsection, like all of that looks way different than, a previous version of me weighing 145. So just an example to show that like you can weigh the same and truly look different. The same thing for the bottom photos. This was my old client, and she came to me wanting to lose weight. I told her we had to put her at maintenance because she was eating like 1,200 calories a day or something crazy. And so I reverse dieted her up to maintenance first. And so this was before we were going into her fat loss phase, but she weighed the exact same in both photos. And I remember her being super excited because, sometimes it's hard to be in maintenance and you know that the scale is not going to be dropping. Like you just I set you up to understand that that's just not what's going to be going down. But she was really like surprised and excited to see that like it kind of looked like she did lose some weight. And she definitely toned up, especially in her midsection too, and her back you can definitely see, which was super exciting for her. And then we could enter the fat loss phase and just enhance that even more. So, how body recomposition actually works. So, the first thing is resistance training, like I said, lifting weights, building that lean muscle so that you can look toned and not bulky, and eating enough protein. So, this is something I meant to touch on earlier is that what the difference between weight loss and fat loss is. First of all, you need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight or to have fat loss. But the second part of it is protein. So, weight loss is just a calorie deficit. Fat loss is a calorie deficit plus a protein goal and eating enough protein. That's why I'm like protein, 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 because I don't want you to lose water weight. I don't want you to lose the muscle that's going to keep your body shape that will allow you to be toned. I want you to, lose the fat. And then other things that can change your body's shape is just eating at maintenance calories, or eating in a slight calorie deficit so that once again you don't burn through your muscle. One huge mistake that I personally did in my journey and that so many women do is, we're so used to just being in a calorie deficit and dieting where it's like that's all we ever strive to do. And then we wonder why we can't build a butt, or we wonder why I'm not looking shredded, and I'm wondering why I'm not building muscle. And it's because you're living in a calorie deficit and you do need to take, breaks and eat at maintenance because if you're eating in a calorie deficit forever and ever, you're not building muscle. You could be burning through that muscle too, especially if you're doing a lot of cardio. So something to keep in mind, which I won't let you guys do. That's what I'm here to help you with. Um, but a lot of people get stuck in that toxic diet mindset where it's like they're just constantly chasing the last 5 pounds or 10 pounds they want to lose. But in reality, if they had some muscle and they could maybe not necessarily lose the 5 pounds, but it could look like they lost the 5 pounds and still achieve that look that they're going for. Um, so yeah, when you're doing it right, you're going to have more muscle, which leads to a higher metabolism. So why is this important? Because for my insulin resistance girlies, this helps you with that. But also it helps you burn more fat at rest. So even on your off days, on your rest days, when you're just chilling, your metabolism is going to be higher, and more efficient to burn more fat. but then also strength training in general is what actually just, tightens and reshapes your body. And then just with the protein and being consistent, you're going to have that guaranteed fat loss instead of just weight loss. Before I move on, do we have questions about this? I feel like I'm just like blah, 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 blah. I don't even have the chat box up, do I? Okay. Let's have a fun pop quiz. I want you guys to vote, which is why I also want to see the chat box. Where are we at? Okay. I want you guys to guess what transformation this is. So, I want everyone to guess. You can either unmute yourself or if you want to, we can drop it in the chat box. I want you guys to vote whether you think between the photo on the left is the starting photo and the photo on the right is it's an ongoing journey, but an after, if you will. Do you guys think that she A, gained 2 pounds, B, she lost 12 pounds, or C, she weighs the same? I got two people saying C. I got some stragglers. Where you at? You guys are so smart. It does look like she lost 20. I know after I did this presentation, you guys, I was lightweight trying to go on here before and I was gonna switch some things around to trick you guys, but I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna leave it. Okay. You guys are smart and we all alluded to that. So yeah, she weighs the same. But to me, I can't really. Oh, mine's lagging. I'm like talking shit to everyone. Okay, you guys are good. Thank you, everyone. So, yeah, she weighed 209 in both photos. Couple things also I do want to point out is that like before she wasn't working out. We got her on a consistent, schedule. Her eating was kind of all over the place. We did tighten that up a little bit based on, her stats. And then also when I mentioned the calories that she was eating, this is also because she was coming off of breastfeeding. So when you're breastfeeding, you get more calories. But in general, she was technically at maintenance. And she really had a huge transformation. Oh no, not the dog. It's okay. Come here. No, come here. Pepper. Um, But yeah, I remember her tripping. She was like, I literally weigh the exact same, like this isn't working. And I sent her these photos and I was like, bruh, what do you mean it's not working? And it was cracking me up too, because you'll notice in like the first photo, she's wearing more clothes, right? Like she was wearing shorts. And I remember her first couple check-ins, she was like, kind of feeling hard on herself. And then by the right photos, I remember her one comment. She was like, sorry, Taylor, like you're only getting ass pics from now on. And like I was cracking up because like, she was feeling herself. And so that to me is priceless. And fuck a scale if that's how you feel and that's how you look after. Okay. This one, let's vote. So, same thing. Did we gain weight? Did we maintain the weight? Did we lose weight? Da 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 da. Drop your votes. And I changed it to this format because I also want you guys to get familiar with the different phases to be in, right? So if you're gaining weight, you're in a calorie surplus. If you're purposely bulking and like strength training, then the goal is to like build muscle, not necessarily just gain fat. You'll always gain a little bit of fat with it too. If you're not, trying to, put on muscle, then it's just weight gain, if you will. Um, then the other phase is maintenance, body recomp. So once again, like maintaining your weight, but your body is transforming. And then the other phase is when you're dieting or in a calorie deficit, mainly towards weight loss. Okay, we got some mixed responses. We got one recomp, we got one gain, one recomp, and one weight loss, which I love. Um, I weighed the same, so this was cool. Once again, like looking back on my journey, this left photo was in 2021, I believe. And this recent photo was in like September of last year, my most recent cut that I did. And like I was like going through my phone and I was like, wait, I've weighed 128 before. Um, and it had been a long time. Like I haven't hit the 120s in a long time until this most recent cut. And I remember thinking like, okay, I weighed 128 before when I was trying to gain muscle. On the left is when I was like chronically dieting and like couldn't lose the last 5 to 10 pounds. And it was like I was really struggling. And then I learned how to, reverse diet and all that. But anyways, yeah, you can weigh the same and look completely different. Okay, last one. So once again, gaining weight with a surplus or a bulk, maintenance, body recomp, or calorie deficit weight loss. Pepper and Harley. Pepper, come here. Come here. You're gonna make me to mute myself, girls. Hey, come here. Please. Thank you. You guys are being so good. A couple more minutes. I'm getting confused, but Emma means give me a shout out to your booty. Chat's getting.
Our little chat keeps going direct messaging to each other, but I feel like
Yeah.
you need to know that Cass gave you a shout out, but
Thank
only I saw
you.
it.
I'll take it. Emma knows that that's my biggest thing that I've been working on. I have been blessed with being quad dominant, despite knowing all the tips and tricks, despite everything. Sometimes you just can't outwork genetics. So, okay, we got a weight maintained, weight loss. Okay, cool. Um, so for her, this was a slight trick. She, oh my gosh, you guys, my dogs are gonna be the death of me. Get here right now, they don't. Don't make me yell at you on camera. Okay, so she wanted to do a calorie deficit and weight loss. She was like, I'm trying to tone up. And I was like, girl, you thought because after she was tracking her calories, she was eating 1,400 calories a day, lifting heavy, like repping pull-ups. Like I was like, I don't think so. So this one was a slight trick because she technically was in a calorie deficit for a little bit, but we reverse dieted her up to maintenance, and then I made her take a little break there. But then simultaneously, through this reverse diet, she technically lost 1 pound. And, it doesn't even look like she lost 1 pound. It looks like she lost like at least five because even when you look at just like her side profile, um, and her back, I feel like her back really showed it a lot too. So, um, yeah, I just wanted to share these because I feel like those were kind of fun. So, at the end of the day, the scale isn't your only metric for success. And this is why I have you guys track things like progress photos and, once again, eliminating outside variables. So, same lighting, same outfit, same time of day, because if you're taking it in different places, different settings, times a day, it can also throw things off. Measurements. So, I don't like have everyone do this. I just say if you have it, please do. But like taking out a tape measure, you can get it for like $2 on Amazon if you. I really highly recommend doing this, especially if you see yourself just like caring about these things long term. Like I have measurements in my notes app from like 5 years ago, and I wish I took more sooner. And then, so yeah, once again, measurements, how your clothes are fitting, and, strength in the gym. Are your lifts improving? Do you have better endurance? Are you not having to rest for 5 minutes in between sets trying to catch your breath? Or are you not struggling to run around and chase your kids anymore? Like that is all huge, huge wins, and like proof of progress. Um, Mindset and like do you have a better relationship with food and having balance and energy levels? Are you having a better mood and a better vibe? And then body fat percentage too, which is technically measured through progress photos and measurements, but like sometimes people can go get those like DEXA scans or whatever, and track body fat percentage too, which is cool. I've never done that. And my scale that I have is like an has an app. It's called Renfo. It says that it tracks that, but I don't know how accurate that actually is. So, the key takeaways of today is the scale is a tool, but not the only measure of success. And we want to be building muscle while we're losing fat. That's the ultimate end goal here. And I want you guys to make sure that you're noticing and tracking your progress with other things outside of the scale and, this number. So for the next, let's say 30 days for the month of April, I want you guys to really, really hone in, like focus on how you feel, look at how you're performing, and document it. So I sent you guys journals and everything too. So I want you guys to be, for the month of April, I want you to take out your journals. I want you to have them with you when you're filling out your check-ins, and I want you to write down any wins. If you catch yourself texting the group chat and dropping a win, which I would love. I feel like we haven't done that in a long time. I would love to see you guys drop some wins outside of scale victories in the group chat because it's not bragging. It's really motivating. Like when other people see you win, it shows them what's possible for them in like real time. And, it motivates them. So, and like also we can be here hyping each other up and celebrating you while also motivating others. So, I'll try to be more mindful if you guys send me wins to like share it in the group chat too. But for your own personal journey, I want you to either be, um, sorry, my computer just wanted to do an update. No, thank you. I want you to be documenting it. So writing it in your journals. That's why I also wanted you guys to get these because when you have a hard day, sometimes it's hard to see. Sometimes we're having body dysmorphia. Sometimes we're having a bad body image day. Or you're thinking that like, I've been doing this for 5 months and, like, what am I even doing this for? Like, should I just give up? What's the point? And so when you can actually look back and write down the date, like today was April 7th, 2024, and here's my win. And that will be so beneficial and real for you to be able to look back to and remember. Um, or even just screenshotting it and keeping it in a folder in your phone or whatever you want to do, make it work, for you. But I really want us to be documenting these wins in a tangible way. And Jordan, thank you for sharing. I was going to ask you guys because I wanted to ask you guys in the beginning of the call and I forgot. Um, and there's a couple people from this week that I wish were here to share their wins because there was a couple non-scale wins too. Um, but I was going to ask everyone if they wanted to drop one win from this week or this month or from this program, just non-scale victory, whether it's like a new PR, are you lifting heavier, are you squatting more? Is it a physical win? Can everybody please drop one win? And Jordan said, here's a win. I put on my pre-pregnancy pants from 5 years ago. Oh, that was a direct message. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to put that on blast. That was supposed to be a secret. Um, Okay, she reshared it. I was like, "Mom." That is a huge, huge win. Jordan, literally, I was even just telling her on her check-in today. She was like a couple pounds away from literally being like 30 pounds down in the past 20 weeks of us working together. And this girl has been in a reverse diet the entire time. She was eating like 900 calories or something crazy. And I have her new goal this week at 2,000 calories. So she's literally eating double the amount of calories, 2,000 calories, and is about to be 30 pounds down. So that is insane. And you guys need to be same cast. Um, I'm always hungry. And yeah, if I don't even know what I was gonna say. I lost my train of thought because I was just thinking about how I'm always hungry too. Oh, I was gonna say if you guys are scared to eat more, um, this is proof that, you just got to trust me. You got to trust the process, and you truly can eat more and lose weight too. And we can reverse diet you and change your body, change your life. So, um, anyone else want to drop any more wins? Does anybody have any questions before I send y'all on your way? Cass almost got 14K steps on Saturday. That is a huge win because we changed her goals from workouts to steps. And so her goal was 5 to 7,000. And I was like, okay, she said, I'm gonna see you 5 to 7 and I'm gonna double it. So she just went crazy. But yeah, Cass loves the gym, so we'll get her back in there. All right, y'all. Super proud of you guys always, and I'll always be here to, drown out the noise and keep it real with you guys about your guys' wins and support you. So I hope that you guys have a good week and make it a good month. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
Thank you.